device, so I don't see that. Don't go away, Firefox. Why is it not finding my device? You have to always put the USB debugger back on so it can, the USB debugger allows it to communicate. Okay, so let's try this again. Run. Now this takes a little bit longer because it's got to negotiate a connection. Sometimes it doesn't even work. I think I hit the wrong button here in my oh, there it goes. I got the configure, got the Firefox in the middle of the screen. Okay, well normally this works very well. This is the great fun of being an evangelist, is you get to basically do things live and try weird combinations out. And working with dangerously unstable nightly builds means you never know what the results are really going to be. So it says at the bottom here, 57%. If it doesn't work this time, we'll pick another one and watch that. God damn it. It's getting fairly cash on this. We'll try this again. I'll try it with another file just to see if something's wrong in the metadata here. Okay. See if this one will run. It'll take longer to send it over. Sometimes when you're working on mobile, weird shit happens. It's basically so new that there's a lot of things that can go wrong that they do usually when you're trying to show somebody else. Probably have to shut my phone down and reboot it for it to work properly, but we'll see. Okay, so anyhow, we'll go back to our VCIT demo. I'm going to quickly shut my phone down and start it up again. So where were we here? We've got our VCIT package. So we've got our default one in our view. Now, say we wanted to pass something between them. VCIT home. We can put let's put something else on it. So we'll put a label on it, and the label will say, Flash Builder rocks. Would be helpful if I could spell properly. And we'll go back and we'll give this an ID. And what we're going to do now is say variable foo of type string equals my label dot text, and we're going to push foo to the next view, and then up here we're going to bind this to data. And let's just reconfigure this. We'll turn this back on. And I'll just change this now to run on my local machine for now until we get this other thing sorted out. Run it. Oops, sorry, wrong project here. VCIT, run on desktop, this one, apply, run. You can see now the message has been pushed. So we've got data going from one screen to the other. And this can go on and on and on and on. So you can go to the file builder one that I built and released open source. We've got a lot of data that gets pushed back and forth. So the mobile file browser has the views package. It has the default view here. We've set up some array collections. So we have to have many different arrays to represent the complex structure of the file system. And we have to have different types of arrays. So types of arrays representing the name that we're going to display on the list. And then we have to also have the paths for those and draw variables out of those and pop items off of the array to display it outside. So what we're doing here is basically we have a list. And when somebody clicks on the list, it calls get file path, and it pushes the event up here. And at that point, it creates the new instance of a variable called current file name, and it appends the directory, the current directory with the current file name to create the view structure. And then it pushes this as a directory to the directory view. If it's a directory. So first we have to check and see if it's a directory, and if it's a file, we'll push a different view on it. So there's kind of a conditional here on where you can go. So when you run this particular application, so let's look at it. Go down to the bottom, and there's the users, which is a root directory, and there's this one, my desktop, and then God knows what kind of stuff I've got here. Finally, when we hit something that is actually a file rather than a directory, this happens, and you get the different view on it. And when you go back, you call a similar method, and it's called pop view. So you can pop the views in one of two ways. On your device, you hit the back button. So you know that most mobile devices have a back button on it. Or you can actually explicitly put a button on. So here's my button up here that's pushing me down to the lower directory. So back down to the root again. Likewise with this one, the information button, you can push a different directory and go back, pop it back. So if we were to go look at the source code for that, this is called the info view. And sorry, I have swear words in my comment here on the source code. You'll see that this button is embedded as part of the action content, and it's called a pop view. And pop view, of course, doesn't take any parameters. You just say go back to the previous view. So that's kind of how mobile applications are built. Now, luckily, there's a lot of cool features you can do on a mobile device. So, Adobe's worked with Google, who've worked strongly with the Android engineers to develop this system for developing for Android. We've got the ability to access things like the time location, the course location. This includes altitude, heading, horizontal accuracy, etc. Accelerometers are supported. How many lines of code do you think it's going to take to get the accelerometer and display it? Anyone? Three. Come on. It's a little bit higher than that. Not quite 90 feet. Okay. So let's go back and look at the source code for this. And by the way, if anybody wants any of this source code, I'll freely give it to you if you want to play around with it. So here's when I was working on just before I came. This one is the default entry point has the mobile home, and it calls acceleration. It creates an